my script. All right. As a preliminary matter, this is Brooke Meerbergen, Chair. Permit me to confirm that all members and persons anticipated on the agenda are present and can hear me. Members, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Mickey Rowland.
Here.
Jason Leonardo Finger. Can't hear you. You got to unmute.
Here, I did unmute and I came in. I don't know. I had my camera on, everything, and I wasn't there.
Yeah.
Bye.
Lucy Dillon.
Here.
All right. Staff, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Holly Backus.
Present.
No anticipated speakers on the agenda. Good afternoon. The open meeting of Nantucket Historical Structures Advisory Board is being conducted remotely, consistent with Governor Baker's executive order of March 12, 2020, due to the current state of emergency in the Commonwealth due to the outbreak of the COVID-19 virus. In order to mitigate the transmission of the COVID-19 virus, we've been advised and directed by the Commonwealth to suspend public gatherings, and as such, the governor's order suspends the requirement of the open meeting law to have all meetings in a publicly accessible physical location. Further, all members of public bodies are allowed and encouraged to participate remotely. The order, which you can find posted with agenda materials for this meeting, allows public bodies to meet entirely remotely so long as reasonable public access is afforded so that the public can follow along with the deliberations of the meeting. Ensuring public access does not ensure public participation unless such participation is required by law. This meeting will not feature public comment. For this meeting, the Historic Structures Advisory Board is convening by video conference via Zoom app as posted on the town's website, identifying how the public may join. Please note that this meeting is being recorded and that all attendees are participating by video conference. Accordingly, please be aware that other folks may be able to see you and to take care not to screen share your computer. Anything that you broadcast may be captured by the recording. All supporting materials that have been provided members of this body are available on the town's website unless otherwise noted. The public is encouraged to follow along using the posted agenda unless I, Brooke Meerbergen, the chair, notes otherwise. Basic meeting business ground rules. We are now turning to the first item on the agenda. Before we do, permit me to cover some ground rules for effective and clear conduct of our business and to ensure accurate meeting minutes. I, Brooke Meerbergen, the chair, will introduce each speaker on the agenda. After they conclude their remarks, the chair will go down the line of members, inviting each by name to provide any comment, questions, or motions. Please hold until your name is called. Further, please remember to mute your phone or computer when you are not speaking. Please remember to speak clearly and in a way that helps generate accurate minutes. For any response, please wait until the chair yields the floor to you and state your name before speaking. If members wish to engage in a conversation with other members, please do so through the chair, taking care to identify yourself. For items with public comment, after members have spoken, the chair will afford public comment to those members of the public that have joined the meeting via Zoom. Members of the public who wish to speak must state their names and be acknowledged by and through the chair. Finally, each vote taken in this meeting will be conducted by roll call vote. All right, and since we don't really vote, it'll be more of a consensus roll call. All right, that's it.
Mr. Chair, somebody needs to adopt the agenda.
Yes, all right.
I'll make a motion.
Option of it. Okay, who would like to make a motion to adopt the agenda? All right, Angus, any seconds? All right.
Roll call.
Yeah, roll call. Mickey Rowland, are you in favor?
Aye.
Lucy Dillon, are you in favor?
Aye.
Angus McLeod, are you in favor?
Aye.
All right. And the approval of the minutes from 8/17, which I think we've all finally had a chance to look at. Anybody want to make a motion for that?
I will.
All right, Angus McLeod makes a motion. Any seconds? Lucy Dillon second. All right, vote to approve the minutes from 8/17/2020. Mickey Rowland,
Aye.
Angus McLeod,
Aye.
Lucy Dillon,
Aye.
All right, chair's obviously in favor too. Okay. So first item up for business, Ethan Griffin is here. So does anybody have a problem with going to 3 Summer Street first?
Nope.
All right. All right. 185 square foot addition. 1909 structure. Thank you for putting the date on there, Mr. Ethan
Yes.
Griffin.
Yes.
Thank you.
Oh, drives me crazy.
So red cedar roof, addition to rear of the structure. Is this, oh, it's right next to the church. Is this the Foursquare?
I'm not sure if there's a name for it, but this was the stable house for, I think it's maybe 90 Main Street. And it's been renovated, I think on 2 occasions over the years. The first time was that they kind of enclosed the stable part, which is that front shed wart. And then the next time they added the cupola, which they found in historic renderings. And then this proposal is to add essentially a shed extension on the rear.
Okay.
I love this house.
Yes, it's a really cool house.
Brooke, I just want to clarify one thing. Ethan, is the east elevation facing the road? Is that correct?
Let me just double check. Correct. The east elevation is the road facing elevation.
Okay. Thanks. And what are the odds, Ethan, that you'll see the west elevation from Main Street?
Oh, 0. There's you kind of, well, you might be able to see in the aerial photo, but that lot is huge, and there's a big, massive kind of planting privet hedge that's probably like 12 feet tall. That's at the end of their lot, or sort of separates their lot from the Main Street lot now.
Okay. Will you see over that and maybe see that upper deck?
I don't think so. I mean, the vegetation itself is taller than like the bottom of the windows. You could potentially see maybe the tops of the doors that we're proposing, but it's pretty far from Main Street, and you don't really have a good angle from the street kind of down the property at all.
Always love this one.
All right. Anyone want to take first stab?
I'll go ahead.
All right.
A couple more questions. In the photograph, it shows a pretty dense hedge, kind of concealing almost the front door and a lot of that facade of the building. Is that going to remain, that hedge?
Correct. That hedge, and also has sort of a little arbor integrated to it, and that will remain.
Yeah. And is that a gate that I'm looking at from the road with the driveway?
Correct. So that's their like parking area, which they use sporadically, but 99% of the time that gate's just closed, and that's where they stick their bicycles.
Yeah, I don't have any real problems with this. I don't love the French door, like sort of on the front, but it's really not facing the road. So that would be my only questionable concern, sort of on the fence on that one. The rest, I'm not too concerned about.
What about a view from Pleasant Street?
So the lot immediate, or the yeah, I guess the lot immediately to the left, or I guess that'd be the south side. There's a pretty good sized structure that's right on the lot line there, essentially right up against the privet hedge. So I don't think there's really any visibility. You'd kind of have to like maybe look. No, I mean, I'm just looking at the aerial. It's really kind of like tight in that area,
Right.
which is why they want to preserve all the privet hedges, because it's really their only little bit of kind of privacy.
Right. So you'd be right at the corner of the Hadwin house trying to find it.
Yeah, potentially that would be the angle, like the corner of Main and Pleasant, sort of like. But that house that's adjacent to it on the south, it's got that long L in the back. That's like a
Yeah.
two-story element. So it's pretty, tucked in there.
I guess, do you have anything you'd like to say?
I think it's a really cool structure. I've always admired this one. I mean, it's so unique. It has, such a strange orientation. I feel bad to change that, what's called the south elevation. And it seems awkward to put a door next to a door. I would rather see, there be two, the addition of another 6 or 8/12 than to see French doors there. I have no problem with the shed addition or the balcony in the back due to lack of visibility. I don't think you could see it from Main or Pleasant Street, but I'd much rather see these decent sized windows repeated for light rather than having those doors there.
Lucy, would you like to add anything?
I totally agree with Angus. I will say, I do have another comment that has nothing to do with application, is that this is such a wonderful house. I would love to see those wires go underground while they're doing the work.
Oh, the utility wires.
Yeah.
I would love that too. That may be a fairly large undertaking, because I think they'd have to go over the road, under the road, but
Yeah.
I'll certainly, ask the owner, all else
Now
being
you,
equal.
you see people do work on their houses and they do a good job, and it's like, oh, if you've looked at these houses, and if you don't see any of the utility stuff, meters or anything, it really adds to just that little extra bit of charm.
Yep.
Okay, I am in agreement with Angus MacLeod. And I think another 8/12 window instead of the French doors would be nice. You could even, double down on the 8/12. You still get plenty of light in there with something like that. As far as the balcony, I think visibility is certainly a mitigating factor. Other than that, I have no concerns. All right, so I think we're all kind of in agreement. Anything else anybody want to add? All right, thank you, Ethan.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ethan.
All right, top of the order.
Top of the order. 13 Lily. Kenneth Canuti, color change.
Ollie, were there any color chips attached to this? I don't know what the colors are.
I don't know if they got scanned in or how they came in. So
I did talk to him because I asked him this when I was in the pharmacy, and he said that he had dropped off 3 sets of color chips, and that the gray is a little lighter than the existing gray, and the blue is like the blue that you see in the small houses in Wisconsin.
It's called Exhale.
I just it's what is that for SMU's voucher that I got extra, that it occurred to me that I do get it.
All right. Angus, would you like to speak to this? Do you have any thoughts?
You're right, and also,
Um,
yeah, they didn't do that, and
I'm
there's.
familiar with the Stonington gray. I don't have an issue with that. The blue, I have no idea what that is. It really would be nice to see some examples, either in chip form or on a house or something.
Mhm.
I didn't get the notification, so.
Someone have a radio going or television?
No, sorry, I'm in the office. Hold on.
I'm going to search on Ben Moore for exhale. I think that's what it's called. Exhale.
What it says. Looks like the trim on this house is natural. Is that
Okay, the trim is Stonington Gray and the sash is Exhale.
the trim? thing? But it's existing is natural, it looks like, doesn't it?
You know, it's the
It's a mix.
paint job is not completely
Okay.
uniform on the house. And the front door now is like a barn red.
It looks like there's window casing that's that barn red too.
Yeah, I think there are a few. And then some of them are natural to weather.
Some of the rakes are painted and some of them are.
Yeah.
All right. So I've got two color chips. Can I share my screen? All right. All right. So this is Stonington Gray.
It's pretty.
And,
Exhale.
can you see this one?
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That exhale
This is Exhale Blue.
doesn't look very blue, which is good.
Yeah. So that's the gray. That's the blue.
I don't have a problem with either.
I
Okay.
think it looks great.
All right.
Fine.
Great.
Okay.
All right. No concerns with either color.
And we were sure that they were Benjamin Moore.
Yep.
Okay.
Benjamin Moore. One Starbuck Court. Driveway apron. Let's start a
So-
fire in here.
Cold.
It's freezing.
So this is
Alright.
an apron it's not required by the bylaw, of course. It doesn't need one, but they're wanting to do this for, I guess they've had issues of people backing up into the property. And they kind of wanted to make it look more formal. Anyway, I was not confident in letting this go without your review before it goes to HTC. So,
Thank you. I'd like to see the shell continue. I mean, it's not really an apron. The apron's the part that comes off the road.
right.
I agree. It's in an awkward place for just a random patch of brick with shell on either side of it.
That's pretty much what I mentioned to them.
Yeah, I think that's they want brick there so shells doesn't get tracked into the house.
All right, so I'm looking at this and it looks like the photo on the right. You've got two strips of shell and the house on the right, but it looks like this driveway keeps going all the way in. Okay, I see. This is just sort of a like an interruption. between the shell spaces.
Yes.
Photograph on the right, Brooke, if you go down there and then you take a right, then you're looking at the photograph on the left.
Kind of.
Kind of.
This one's looking down Starbuck. This one's looking down back towards the Pleasant Street.
I think it should stay shell.
I do too.
All right. Yeah. All right. Okay. So, Mickey, you feel like it should stay shell?
Yeah, and I assume Starbuck is either a traveled way or maybe even the public way. I don't know. So it's visible.
It's a.
Oh yeah, it's public.
Yeah.
It's a dead end.
Yep. It's a historic dead end.
Yes. Trying to figure out where this is.
The Starbuck.
Oh, I know where it is.
Yeah, is right
Okay.
here. There's the
Yeah.
actual Starbuck house.
Yep.
So this is before it.
Yep. Okay. That's New Dollar Lane. Okay. And Lucy, you want it to stay shell.
Yes, please.
All right. All right. So should remain shell. And shell, brick too formal.
Yep.
Brick too formal. Okay.
All right. Next one is
All right. Seems we're all in agreement there. 4E Lincoln Ave.
move on the lot and alter.
So this is a building that's being moved on or a building that's being moved on the lot, moved around on the lot.
Existing on the lot, and it's the main house on the lot. If you keep going down, you'll see the existing site plan.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah, there it is right there.
Okay.
Mhm.
So moving it back. Repositioning it. I looked this one up. Was there a house on this lot before in front of it or behind it? Maybe not.
Looks like it was alone on the lot.
It looks like it's being rotated around to make room for a future dwelling.
I'm just questioning. I'm wondering in the 80s, it says it's 1988, which would make sense with the architecture, obviously.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering if there was either a structure on the same lot or it was subdivided based on what they're showing me on NHL data.
When you look at the aerial, it almost looks like a shared driveway with the house next door. But you're probably right, it was probably subdivided.
Yeah, okay, that would make sense. Okay. This one, I think, is why.
So that deck would be facing the road?
Looks like internally it would be facing, right?
Oh, I think it looks to me like it'd be facing
No, the
Lincoln.
deck faces the road.
Faces the road.
Yep. Because
Yep,
the
you're right.
garage door faces the road.
Yep, I see that now.
So my thinking,
Yeah, hang on.
and then,
Mr. Rowland, would you like to add your opinion to this?
sure, I'll go ahead. I don't necessarily mind the deck. I'm not sure I like to see it shingled and, partially shingled and partially balustered. I think the shingles make it feel a little heavier. So I'd say keep it all balustered. And then the other French doors on the west elevation, I don't like 4 light French doors. I think they should be 15 light for French doors.
There should be what?
15 light.
Even with the 2/2s?
Yep.
Angus?
I think a lot of how this structure happened to begin with was the orientation of sort of being behind stuff and getting accessed from a different, from the adjacent lot. It bugs me that this is going to be, I know it's sort of behind the house, but it's going to be more visible and facing the street. And I have a little bit of an issue with the deck, and I'm with Mickey as far as not having a mix of the shingle and the baluster, but I'm almost wondering if it's going to say less deck if you don't see that railing, if it's shingled all the way. I'd rather not see a deck at all.
Yeah, I agree.
Lucy, anything? Would you like to add something?
Yeah, I'd rather not see the deck.
Okay. All right.
What's the material of the garage doors?
I don't know if they're indicated on the app. Probably not.
Shows them being painted.
Oh,
Well, according to the application, it says doors are white. So
right.
Maybe they could be gray.
or
Should be
exhale
gray.
blue.
Give us a breather.
Oh,
I'll say air conditioning units too.
all right. So it sounds like either balustered, full baluster on front deck or no deck at all. And gray garage, or just gray or something besides white.
Mr. Chair, can I add one more thing?
Sure, Mr. McLeod.
The ganging of the door and the window as the replacement for the 2 ganged windows above the garage doors. I'd rather see just the door or some sort of separation, but they're not the same, and the mirroring effect doesn't really happen with the door not matching the window light
Right
configuration.
here.
Maybe they could center that door and it's just one big space. They could probably improve on that window door package a little bit.
Yeah,
I think
so-
that's a great idea, Mickey. Yeah, center the door under the gable and have windows on either side of it.
Yeah.
with flanking windows.
Yes.
Okay. Asymmetry does not work.
Thank you for using flanking. So many people don't use that. I love that word. Sorry, architectural nerd.
No, I'm just.
I say it all the time.
Let's see. All right. So the other concern was on the west elevation. Is that actually visible?
Let's see.
I don't think it will be.
proposed
But you know, it's the same thing with that French door in the gable end or the one facing the street. I just don't, you know, where do you see a four-light French door historically?
Right.
You don't.
You know?
All right, so no 4 or 6 light French door.
Yeah.
Light French door. Second floor French door. No precedent in town. All right. So is anything else?
Location of AC units.
Yep, I have that first thing. All right, so full baluster or no deck at all, gray or something besides white on garage door, north elevation, center door with flanking windows. So yes, the asymmetry does not work, and no 4 or 6 light second floor door, no precedent in town, and I think, yeah, and same for west elevation. Elevation door. All right. Anything else? All right. Let's see, Carol Heller.
30 Woodbury, right?
I don't have that on my agenda.
I don't either.
Oh, really?
No.
Yeah, the,
Orange Street.
well, at least the view pack.
Okay. No, it's. Oh, you know what? Okay. So I was told this morning, maybe I'm going by the agenda that was. Okay. I believe you guys have a couple of things on your agenda that might not necessarily be heard by the HDC this week, will probably be pushed on to next week due to the amount of applications and possibly incomplete applications could be possibly. I'm not 100% on that. But might as well look at it.
Sure.
So it's a stone patio.
Holly, is there a locus for this?
Yes, right here.
Oh, thank you.
So it looks like it's halfway in between. No, not even. We're on the New Lane side. The North Liberty.
It's right there on the corner
Barnabas
of
and
the road.
Woodbury.
I think this is a house I did a long time ago.
Sad. All that land was in my great grandfather's name.
Oh. That's too bad.
Yep.
Is that all it is? Wait, that bluestone, is that all it is to change the brick to bluestone?
What it's
Between the
saying.
buildings, but there's also a change to the driveway too.
Right. Changing shell driveway to brick herringbone pad. The entire thing.
Herringbone.
If they do it, they should reuse that brick.
That looks like the sidewalk, isn't it? Or
That is the sidewalk. They're just
Okay.
changing that shell
They wanna change
to
to bluestone?
brick.
so that would be a herringbone pattern next to a running bond pattern.
I think I'd rather see a running bond rather than herringbone here.
Well, maybe not in the same orientation. I think you should go across,
Yeah, it should run opposite.
yeah, perpendicular to the to the lines.
Right.
All right, so Lucy,
I'm fine with it. My recommendation is that they use the brick that they're tearing up.
okay, reuse brick.
Can we see that where the other brick is being torn up and going to bluestone?
It's in between the buildings.
Hidden behind the head? Site plan, Holly?
Yep, sorry.
Thank you.
So right here.
Are there any photos from the street?
Probably not. Let's see. This is what you get.
That's what we got, huh? All right, Angus, would you like to add something?
I concur with Lucy.
All right, Mickey?
Now I'm looking for the street view to see if there's a pretty big hedge around the whole thing.
Yeah.
So it's, I don't love the bluestone, but I don't think we'll see it much, and I'm okay with it.
And I'd like to add that the running bond needs to be perpendicular to sidewalk running bond.
Good.
All right. And I think we're done here. It looks like Ethan is still here, and there was another application. Anybody mind taking this out of turn?
Nope.
Yeah. which is-
Ethan?
All right. Thank you.
Ken Pleasant.
I like this house.
So second floor deck, door and window revisions.
I wonder what the visibility is going to be from High Street.
Right. I looked at that. I mean, I couldn't really get a good shot of it. There's a pretty good sized house that kind of backs up to this lot. Or I'm sorry, not High Street, Pine Street. High Street, you kind of get a view kind of obliquely. So you definitely would see the deck. I don't know if you'd really see any of the glass. And this owner actually owns both 12 and 10. So you'd be looking basically over 12 Pleasant from High Street if you potentially could see much of this. Again, I think you will see the deck. The glass, not so much.
Angus, you want to take a stab?
I don't think this is very visible. I'd rather see that simplified without the transom. But I don't really have a problem with the deck. I kind of wish it weren't going all the way east, I guess to the south, stretching all the way to the end of the building. And if it were, if some kind of, if you could get enclosed somehow. But again, I don't think it's that visible.
Lucy?
I actually walked up there yesterday and the deck would be visible from Pleasant Street.
Pleasant or Pine?
I think high for sure.
Right there.
Oh, right, that's Pleasant. So
That's
that's pushing
Pleasant.
up the driveway.
Yeah, you would see the deck sticking out. I'm not for it.
Angus? Oh, Mickey? Sorry.
Yeah, I don't, to be honest, I don't really mind the deck in the back of the house. If you could pull it in a little bit off the corner, that might help a little bit more. What bothers me more are the window transoms. And I know visibility may be marginal, but still, just for the sake of the old building, I think the windows should align. You know, the tops of the new windows should align with the original ones. And, you know, I guess you got the French door in there. I guess that's why they're transoms above that. I might, instead of having one long transom, have two separate ones, maybe separated by a mullion, just to simplify it a little bit. But I'm, you know, never fond of transoms over windows. You just don't see that.
Yeah.
And I think they should align with the existing.
Can I add something?
Mr. McLeod?
I agree with Mickey about the transom. I think that's what's bugging me about the transom is that it's over the windows, and the windows, the 12 over 12s have to drop low to make that work. I'd rather see the 12 over 12s in line with the others on the house or underneath that eave. And so the doors don't look awkward. I could still see the transom, you know, above the door, but that maybe the transom and the tops of the windows would all be in line.
Mm-hmm.
And just moving that in 2 feet, I think would take care of the visibility, or as much as possible without running into the window.
So shrink the deck width by 2 feet?
And maybe not even on both sides, but on that
Yeah.
driveway side.
And just to clarify, there is an existing kind of projection there now that this is basically the same size as. Of course, it doesn't have a deck on top, but it does have this sort of roof with the kind of trellis on it, which will preserve the trellis. But obviously, there's no deck there now.
Yeah, I don't think you can make an equivalency there. And now, in terms of visibility, if you go to the locus map, I think that this will be visible from Pine Street, looking in between the buildings, between 1517 and 15 and 11. I think there will be some visibility here.
Mm-hmm.
And to that end, I do think that the amount of glass is excessive. You know, as a Historic Structures Advisory Board, I think we would be remiss in not mentioning the amount of existing building fabric that's being removed from this structure in order to achieve this wall of glass. And so I have concerns in that regard, as well as just the aesthetics.
Thank you for that, Brooke.
Yes, I agree.
What do you all think about no flankers and just go with the
French doors?
Yeah.
Yeah, or a single French door and 2 windows evenly spaced, you know, more or less in the openings where they were. I think this could be modified Now, it looks like those windows up above, those can't be historic in the existing east elevation where they're mulled.
I was going to say there are very few mold windows in this house.
Yeah. But it
Correct.
looks-
That, just a point of clarification, it's like almost a shed roof off of the original structure, which you can see on, I guess that would be the south elevation. So that's actually a later addition, probably in the 20s or so. And not part of the original kind of timber frame square of the house.
Yeah, so you're talking about right here
Correct.
over. Yeah, you can tell.
Yeah, all right. I think, I mean, personally, I'm going to stick to my feeling, my opinion that the French door should only occupy the windows that are there. I think if we add more windows, then more of the original fabric goes away. And again, as the Historic Structures Advisory Board, I think we're remiss in not saying that. Anything else?
I think it's stealing too much from the ground floor. It's just too much, will be too much going on the back of the house.
Yeah, I try to simplify it and separate windows and doors and make it simpler.
Just on the view. This was on the view for the HDC, which is good.
All right. I think that's it for now. Anybody want to add anything? All right. Thank you, Ethan.
Great. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Have a good one.
So 117 Orange.
No info.
Is this an as-built?
Looks like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. There it is.
Built fence.
This was in the Backus family a long time ago.
Man, you guys just gave it all away, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Both sides. Anti-natives, that's what happens.
Split rail fence. Do we even have to look at these? I thought that split rails were okay, unless they were three rails.
I thought so too. I'm not too sure what the reason behind it is. Definitely it looks different than what it did before with the tree, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know if there's anything else in here.
No,
Well, I guess Mickey, go ahead.
there's a mix of, I was wondering if split rail was really appropriate this close to town. And there is split rail on, at least one in the area, maybe a couple of them in the area. There's also picket across the street and up the road. It's kind of a mix, but it seems like split rail was, may not have been my first choice for this particular house, but there's precedent for it around.
Yeah, the Baskin Museum is split rail.
It's true.
All right. Angus, any concerns?
I think I'd rather see a type 2 if there's going to be a fence, but it's not offensive.
All right. Lucy?
I'm fine with it.
Yeah, me too. I think it's actually more like old Nantucket to me.
Yeah. Holly's
Yeah.
ancestors had their sheep there.
There you go. But they gave them away.
Oh, they ate them.
Oh, all right. So no concerns. All right. 28 Prospect. Huh. I guess I got to recuse myself from this one.
Do you want to present, Brooke?
Sure. 28 Prospect. All right, so this is a structure that is being, that exists out at 119 Eel Point Road. And they want to move it off that lot and move it to this lot, which is a newly created lot as part of the Mueller subdivision. And you'll see that there's a locus map that shows the subdivision as it exists at the land court. And in terms of modifications, the existing structure did not have a proper front door just because of where it was situated. And so we're adding a little portico front door, which is it would be on the second set of elevations. And there was a bunch of existing deck, which we're getting rid of. And there was a whole pergola walkway, which is going away. But other than that, the building is staying more or less the same. Now, in terms of context, because I'm sure that will be brought up, in the area, like right across the street, you have the Stojack compound, which is a mishmash of Cape and Ranch, and also a colonial in the back. You have the Gambrel faux medieval right next to it, and then you've got a second dwelling kind of quasi Greek revival situation that was a new building about 10 years ago. And then, mix of bungalow and four-square colonial just in that area. So there is a mix of architecture. And I think that, one could rationalize the existence of this structure there based on that context. And besides Mr. Rowland, anybody? All right, sorry, I'm not the presenter. I'm the presenter, I'm not the chair. Have at it. I've said my piece.
I'll go ahead. I know we're trying to reuse buildings, and I applaud that. But this was a building designed for out of town in a very different environment and locale than this is residential old historic, I'm sure. I don't think it fits in. I don't think the details are right. The windows are right. This asymmetrical gable facing the road. I don't think we should be forced to accept a building on Prospect Street just because we're trying to reuse something. So I don't know how you could do enough to this to fix it. So I know Brooke, you don't own this one too much, but I just don't think it's the right thing to do on this lot in the residential old historic.
All right, who is chair? Because I can't be.
Oh, we're going careless on this one. I'll go ahead and comment unless Lucy, do you want to?
No, I don't want to be chair, but I will comment. I agree with Mickey. This isn't a bad house at all, but I don't think it's an in-town house. And I'd like to see it somewhere out of town. I mean, with that decking or something. I mean, Matticat.
I agree with everything Mickey said. I mean, and no offense to the people across the street, but that arrangement of buildings across Prospect on the south side, just have always looked like they don't belong, and this would kind of perpetuate it. I don't see this belonging in town at all in that location. And there's really, yeah, there's not a lot of, like if it were going back, hundreds of feet or something and it was screened, it would be one thing. I hope that it can get used somewhere, but this doesn't seem like the place.
A Mr. Chair want to step up, or a Mrs. Chair?
Calling
I
Mickey as
can't.
chair.
Yeah, I can be chair, but I think I think we've
Yeah.
all set our piece.
All right.
Holly, you got decent notes on this one?
Got it.
Okay.
All right. I am resuming my chairmanship. And
Bandages, are you good?
what? You want to go, Mr. McLeod? You want to go? All right. 34 Union Street.
Oh, this is Ben's. Proposed studio in the back. Elevated.
I think that's gonna be. Oh, yeah, that's not. He disclosed that he has that. Yeah. But he didn't actually do, so. You know, and he wasn't.
A comment. I've had nothing to do with this project, but just because of my recent association with Ben, I'm going to recuse from him for a while.
It's tough.
All right. So that, it looks like Southwest is facing Union Street and Southeast would be the right side.
Yeah, and that's obvious. Right. I mean, he's with money.
Northwest is facing the parking lot. And, oh, sorry, Northeast is facing parking lot. All right. Lucy, would you like to go?
How high up is this building, the foundation? That's a flood zone down there.
I don't know, but there it's usually like around 8.5 feet. So,
It's about right.
yeah. Let's see. FEMA zone elevation 8,
9.
finished floor elevation 9.23. So he's putting the base of the elevation at 8 feet. You could do pressure treated lumber and pressure treated plywood and drop it down to 8 feet.
Wet proofing also helps out with that too. That's why we're working on design guidelines.
Yeah.
Resilient anti-kit.
All right. So Lucy, if you wanted to speak to the height, you could, and it would be feasible.
Okay. Other than that, I have no comments.
All right.
I love little buildings.
Anything to say about the front door, perhaps?
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
Okay. Angus?
Leading the witness. I like little buildings as well. And I appreciate the use on this lot. I like the modesty of what faces the parking lot, which I think is going to be really visible. I would rather see, speaking to the the front door. I'd rather see a different door there. Maybe a 4-panel or something. And also, I don't know, if, because of how compact it is, but how, vertical it makes it, and then trying to meet the floodplain, it'd be great if the eaves were just a little bit lower on the second floor, which might necessitate a shallower pitch or lower eave on that gable that runs right, where the peak runs right underneath the eave of that upper roof.
So drop the eave lines to mitigate height effect.
Yeah. Other than that, I like it.
Air conditioning units.
Ah, yes, AC location, question mark. All right, building could drop with PT framing, nice and modest, drop eave lines to mitigate height effect. Maybe reconsider front door, but front door styled, but not
I have
imperative.
no problem with that because it's sitting back from the street.
All right. Okay. I guess I stand alone. All right. I think we're done here. 6 Jefferson.
Dormer.
Says raise up to something or other. Add to attic.
Oh. Third floor.
Is there so the photos are what's existing.
That's funky.
Are there any existing drawings of this building?
What you see is what you get.
Be very helpful, but they're not here.
All right, Lucy, would you like to start?
No,
No, okay. Angus, would you like to start?
This is already a complicated and vertical building, and I feel like this makes it worse. I don't like what happens to that gable on what's labeled as left southeast by raising it on only one side. And also, I don't like the idea of a visible, third story balcony. There's already, space on the first floor, and then a balcony on the second floor, and then the third floor. It seems too much.
it's like a 3-decker.
Mickey.
Yeah, my computer stalled or something. I missed most of what Angus said. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Here you know.
Okay. I'll just say it anyway, probably the same things, but I, you know, I did hear that this is a very vertical, tall building, and this is absolutely making it worse. That we don't want to see another like third floor on this building, especially facing North Beach Street. So that whole third floor where he raises the gable doesn't work. That needs to stay where it is. And that whole room, she must be adding a room up there. That's just not appropriate. The flush dormer with a deck on the third floor facing North Beach Street, not appropriate. Stacked on top of the new roof, but I can't really tell. It's hard to, yeah. I guess I don't mind the the porch roof on the second floor, but let's not put something on top of it. The same problem on the back, although she can't do that if she doesn't get the stuff on the front. And the double window in the replacing that arched half round window. You know, a single window there, fine, but a mullion window up on the third floor, I don't think is good. The back left southwest. So basically too much facing North Beach Street, third floor, going too vertical.
Lucy?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think that the third floor deck is terrible. Well, inappropriate. And the dormers. This building's too confusing already.
So it's visible. Definitely. I mean, is there any disagreement on that?
No.
All right. So being visible, it is inappropriate regardless. Yeah. All right. So tall building becomes taller. Third floor balcony creates a towering elevation facing North Beach. So very visible. Yeah, I think we can. I think we can leave that as is. Is there anything else?
Yeah, the increasing the height of that gable on the southeast.
Yeah.
No.
Gable height would increase.
Just don't do it.
Increase. What is it, like probably 3 feet?
No, she says 30 inches, but it's asymmetrical. Yeah. It's already tall and narrow. So.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So 32 India Street.
So it's in the back.
Relocate deck stairs.
Moving them from here to here.
This is the house with the little structure at the end of the driveway that had that huge picture window behind the barn doors.
Mm-hmm. Did they ever fix that?
No,
They put
barn doors there, but it's always open.
they put that stick-on stuff or something so it looks like divided lights.
Oh, huh.
I have no problem with this. I mean, you're not going to see it. I actually went down there and looked at it. They're just moving the stairs so that they're centered on the French doors going straight into the backyard.
Angus?
I have no issues.
Mickey?
No concerns.
No concern. Okay.
That was easy.
15 meter. New dormer, outdoor shower, fireplace, chimney, outdoor shower.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. Cottage A. So this one back here. My not so favorite elevated houses. Ooh, did I say that? I did.
These cottages are so awkward. How did they ever happen?
Really high.
All right. Lucy, would you like to start?
No, I'm still looking.
All right. Mickey,
Sure. You know, these are simple little cottages. I guess I don't mind a little bit of quirkiness to them. I think the dormers are way too big and they're flush, which is not, I guess at least the one on the new east elevation is right on the front of the building. That just can't be that way. It should be, you know, less space left to right. It's kind of overwhelming the roof plane, if it's even there at all, and it should be set back from the front. I just think it's probably shouldn't be there, period. The one on the back, which is now flush also, but it actually is sitting on with a shed roof concealing that. I don't mind it as much. It should be set back from the left. This is the new west elevation. It should be, you know, they're supposed to be 3 feet from the sides, and it's definitely not. The chimney is awkward. I don't know how visible that chimney is. Probably very visible, but I don't know.
you can put it inside the building.
They should put it inside the building. And I don't care about the shower. But so no dormer on the east, chimney inside on the west, and the dormer on the west pushed to the right, away from the corner, the edge.
Angus?
I would agree with everything Mickey said. I think, you know, if the dormer on the new west elevation is stepped into the minimum 3 feet from the gable, that because of the shed roof coming out in front of it, it doesn't bother me. But on the new east side, yeah, the way it's drawn is it's like that can't happen. It's flush and it's like there isn't an eave. I don't know what that really means, but that isn't appropriate. And the chimney on the low side of a shed, it's just so awkward. I'd encourage them to go with gas and not have a chimney.
I'm trying to figure out what the chimney's for on the plans. Oh, there it is. Okay.
Lucy, would you like to add anything?
Well, I think the chimney should go inside, and I agree with Angus. I would opt for gas there. I was looking to see for a fireplace inside because I was wondering if they were going to try to do an outdoor fireplace. And, you know, because the buildings are elevated, the chimney mass on the outside looks weird, and actually so does the shower. That's all I have to say. I agree with it about the dormers too.
All right. Yeah, chair is in agreement with all of that. So, yeah, it looks like east elevation dormer is a flush dormer and overwhelms roof line. The chimney should either move inside or be replaced with a gas fireplace. Prefer to remove the east dormer, west dormer setback to 3 feet.
I don't think a chimney that height of that chimney, I don't think it would draw properly, would it?
It's a 10 foot from the nearest ridge line. It can be 2 feet higher. It should be 2 feet higher than that ridge line. So I think you're probably onto something there. It probably does need to come up another couple of feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And normally too, if you had a situation like this, wouldn't most people try to put the outdoor shower on a deck? Just out of curiosity, I'm not recommending this.
Mhm.
Yeah, but I don't know that you'd want to see that thing up on the deck.
I know.
You know, people on display. These buildings are what they are in that regard. So
Yeah, but the flood zone, maybe they just want a bathtub down there.
here's a thought. Why not stick that thing underneath the building and you have a door in the side of your wall and a walk-in shower? That'd be kind of cool.
I feel like it's moldy.
Well,
Not very sunny.
Chair, I didn't comment on the outdoor shower. I don't have any issues with it in its present location.
all right. All right. Looks like we're all kind of in agreement on that. I am going to say that the chimney needs to be taller for code,
Which would make it even more awkward.
which would make it more awkward. Yeah. Making it more awkward. No concerns of shower. All right. Levin Fayette. Window move, new window, another fireplace, outdoor shower. Let's see. Angus?
What is the chimney? Is that brick?
Chimney is red brick.
Yep. Yeah, I don't really have a problem with it.
Mickey?
No, back in the day, they used to insist that chimneys be interior, so you didn't see exterior brick chimneys on the outside of houses. And this is in the old HD. I think I would try to lean in that direction here. I'd rather see the whole chimney be interior, stick through the roof.
Lucy?
I agree.
All right.
I'm looking at those large barn door kind of things. What's behind those?
A huge TV screen.
Drive-in movies.
I agree with you, Mickey, about the chimney being inside. I'd rather see it only be exposed from the roof up. And there's room in the room. It's not like a tiny room.
Yep.
less flashing.
And you're okay with the flanking windows? Just not the chimney, have an interior. Got it.
Anybody else want to add anything?
Holly, when is the HTC meeting on this on these applications?
It's scheduled for tomorrow, but that's a 6-page agenda. So depending on where this is on the agenda, it might not be heard.
What's the deal with Mondays and Tuesday meetings? Is that is there a pattern to that?
It depends. It's based. They cannot have more than one regulatory board meeting at the same time due to NCTV and YouTube requirements. So that's for instance, tonight is NPDC. That's why HTC is tomorrow. That's pretty much how that works. And then they don't always have every Thursday because that's usually Board of Health. So there is a method kind of to the madness.
All right, I think we're all in agreement there. 6 Harborview Way. Run on outdoor showers and chimneys.
Yeah.
It's,
Anyone want to start?
I'll just say the same thing. Chimney inside.
Yeah.
I don't care about the shower. Oh, the showers on the north. Yeah, I'm fine with the shower, I think, but the chimney should be inside.
Same remarks.
Yep.
I'll concur.
Me too.
No, wait, I'm gonna add something else to that. This is, I mean, when you look at this, say the gable end that shows the chimney, there's no way that's gonna meet the code. You
Yeah.
know, that's gotta be higher than the ridge. So I don't think the chimney's gonna work at all on that element.
I think the chimneys on all the last few are all going to have issues.
On the first one, yes. On the 11 Fayette, no, from a code perspective, but definitely on this.
So I think
This would have to be 2 feet higher than the ridge. Because
Yes.
I don't think the ridge is 10 feet away from it.
No. So they should go to another example of a place they should use gas.
Yep.
Not going to work with the actual chimney.
Well, plus the fact that you get the wind off the harbor is another good reason to use gas.
Yeah. Actually, if it's less than 10 feet, it'd need to be 3 feet taller than ridge. Is it 6 and 10, or is it just 10 feet? Do you know, Mickey? Do you remember?
Well, I think you said it right to begin with. If any part of the roof that's within 10 feet of it, it needs to be 2 feet above that.
Yeah. Unless it's more than 10 feet, though.
More than 10, I guess it needs to just be above the roof plane. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it has to do with the ridge line.
Yeah.
The wind blowing over and down or up and over.
Mhm.
So we'll just say 2 feet taller since, all right.
Well, this would have to be like 6 feet taller or more than is drawn.
Yeah. Right, it'd be, yeah, 6 feet taller than ridge.
Well, 6 feet taller than what's drawn. 2 feet taller
And
than,
yeah, 6 feet taller than what's drawn.
at least.
And this could just really go pear-shaped. You know, if HCC approved it and then the mason says, well, I can't stop it there and guarantee it. And then you're stuck. Like you've got a chimney mast there and he's got to go the rest of the way to make it like,
Yeah.
this shouldn't have ever been proposed.
No, we need to emphasize it's a serious code problem and it just can't go there.
Should we ask for the back to see what happens?
Yeah.
Sure. But, you know, I think that if they, well, I don't know. I think this is approvable through staff, that's all. And we're just telling the HDC that these are the facts about the code
Oh, okay.
and that it's really up to them to make the right decision, which I think they will, you know. All right, same remarks as 11.5. Chimney will not meet code use gas. Chimney will need to be taller than ridge and 6 feet taller than what's drawn. Okay. Anything else?
Good.
All right. No concerns about the shower.
No.
29 Center Street.
So this says reductions to previously approved work scope. So whatever happened to the Roberts collection? That's what they're asking. I saw this on the planning board side, so.
Let's see. Reductions. Does it really say reductions on the application?
Yes.
These aren't reductions.
Yeah, actually, Burke, when you look at not the front, but the like the south elevation, they're removing an entire like second, third floor wing they were proposing earlier.
See where all the stairway is, Brooke?
Oh, I got you. Okay, so is that that was existing? Gotcha. Okay, sorry, got it. So right.
But like on the south elevation, there's a lot of deck that ends up happening along the side there. Because why? Was that going to be inside before?
Well, there used to be that section there and there used to be a stair there anyway. So you're really, the stair is more or less, it's there.
Oh, right. It was behind the building that was there.
Yeah, it was just, it was like a walk, it was a hallway
Nectar, really.
to the Roberts house. Angus or Mickey or Lucy? Anyone?
I can go, I want to just go elevation by elevation.
Yeah.
I'm starting west. I actually like the changes. They've enclosed the porch. That's good. The windows facing west are now double hung. The first floor windows. Better, it's an improvement. I like those. Moving on to the east. Looks like it's really just putting it back the way it was. So I'm okay with that. Down to the south. Basically, there is a fair amount of deck work going on, as Angus mentioned. It's kind of off the street. I'm not very concerned about that. And moving a couple windows, that all looks fairly fine to me. And then the north. Sort of the same. I think it's been improved. I think this is much better than what was approved before.
Where is the north elevation?
Yeah, that's facing the garden.
Oh yeah, okay, yep, got it. All right. Angus?
I know, I think it's an improvement. Sorry to see a building like this not have a chimney downtown, but that's not on the list of things now.
Is that it?
That's it for me.
Lucy?
Of course, I'm looking for the AC units. I don't see them.
All righty. Yeah, I'm in agreement. I think that, the Roberts house is probably going to, block a host of ills with regards to that deck area. But otherwise, I think it's, it's nice that the back isn't getting removed and renovated. So I think that's a bonus. And otherwise, I have no concerns. So.
So we're good on that one?
Yeah, I would, what I would like to say though, the deck area cutaway, the visibility is mitigated by Robert's house. I think that should be said just so that is in the minds of whoever's looking at this.
Absolutely.
3 Summer Street.
Already did it.
Yep, we did that one already.
Ah,
We are good on that.
if,
And of course-
if you guys want, if you guys give me a second, I'm gonna look up the chimney code. I have it on the page. I just didn't get a chance. And then that way, Holly, you can actually add a code reference, mass.
Thank you. I
Holly,
like
do you want to show everybody the photograph I sent you earlier on the the AC units at the JC?
Oh, yes. So I can't put that down. Bear with me for a second. Yeah, so the AC units at JC House, obviously, as you guys are aware, went through a couple of times, and the HTC did finally approve them. I don't believe it's been requested for a final sign off, and I don't believe it's correct, like they're completed yet, but bear with me. Where is it?
All right, we ready? Let us pray.
Nice.
Wrong day, Brooke.
No, okay, sorry. It's R1003.9 termination. And you don't have to write all this down, but that's the reference. And I'll just read it so that we kind of have that in our head. Chimneys shall not extend less than, Chimneys shall extend not less than 2 feet higher than any portion of a building within 10 feet, but shall be not less than 3 feet above the highest point where the chimney passes through the roof. So if it's 9 feet 9 inches, then that chimney needs to be 3 feet taller than the ridge. If it's 10 feet 1 inches away from the ridge, then the chimney needs to be 2 feet taller than the adjacent roof plane.
Makes sense.
Brooke, I'm gonna come up with a different interpretation of that.
Please do.
I think they're saying it's got to be 3 feet taller, 3 feet above the roof where it intersects the roof. Now the ridge, I think, is still, if it's 10 feet or 9 feet 11, it's got to be 2 feet above the ridge.
Oh, right, gotcha.
As long as it's at least 3 feet above.
Yeah, so in that other one where it was on the eave line, it would have to be, if that was 10 feet, it would have to be 2 feet above that. And if it was less than 10 feet, it would have to be 3 feet above that ridge.
The ridge.
Yeah, so it would be more than 6 feet they'd be adding to that chimney.
Can we change that on the record?
So you said originally about it was going to be 6 feet taller.
It looks
Now
like
it would.
close.
How tall it would be? Taller?
Yeah, I can dimension it. Hang on. Is that Harborview Way?
Harborview Way. Yep.
Yeah. That's not right. Hang on a second, guys. Sorry.
Trying to scale up the drawing.
Well, I've got a PDF thing that I use. It has dimensions, but I have to calibrate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it looks like it would have to be, we'll just say at least 6 feet taller than what is constructed and probably closer to 7.
Yep, I would agree with that.
Good.
along with the comment that if for some reason they think that's acceptable, that the main chimney should be interior.
Yes, I made that comment.
All right. Do we have anything else we want to add to any of these?
Nope.
All right.
Can I make a motion to approve the comments?
You may, Mr. McLeod. Is there any second? Lucy Dillon seconds that with a waved hand. All those in favor, Mr. Mickey Rowland, are you in favor of that?
I'm going to say yes, but I'm going to add something. You know, Brooke, looks like you've been taking notes. Why don't you scan your notes and forward them to Holly to be incorporated in with this?
Okay.
Sounds good.
All right.
Thank you.
Aye.
All right. And Lucy, are you willing to approve the comments?
Yes, I approve.
All right. And Angus,
Aye.
chair is in favor. All right. Motion to
Motion to
adjourn.
adjourn.
Motion.
Angus makes a motion. Mickey,
Second.
Lucy,
What are we doing? Motion on this to approve?
to adjourn.
Well, I wanted to discuss this JC thing.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Strike that adjournment from the record, please.
all right.
So I took this photograph, I believe, this morning. And as we know, they put in those units right to the left of one of the most historic structures downtown, or commercial historic structures, without approval. When NIR should have known better. And then they came back with this fence. I missed the meeting when I must have come before HSAB. I personally do not think that this, the way this was designed is adequate. From the side of Center Street side, you have two sections of the fence that are at a higher level. Then they step down and turn the corner. I don't think that they shouldn't have stepped down the fence. And I don't know what the plans that they did were submitted, but to me, this is not adequate screening.
I agree.
yeah.
For the record, I do know it was approved. I for one reason or another, it didn't come back to you all. It did get approved by the HTC. Now, I don't believe they're completed. I believe that there's more to this because there was extensive vegetation that was required to be planted. And I believe in the motion, it was requested for this step down, as you see. I have not seen the actual stamped approved plans. I don't have them in hand, or I would email them to you. But if they are digital, I can do that.
I would, because my question is, was it built to according to the plan? And I'd also like to make another comment too, is that, you know, so often we see applications that, will be screened by landscaping. All of us know that in the winter, we see a lot more stuff.
I'd question, I'd add to that, and Holly, just want to look at the approved plans and see if they showed the units, because clearly they're visible above the fence line here. And if the approved plans show the units lower and behind the fence, then they didn't build it according to the approval.
Again, I'd have to take a look at it, but I do remember there was a conversation the HTC had with having this step down effect. Now, maybe they didn't take in consideration this angle because this is not looking at them flat on. The conversation was trying to mitigate the view of the higher units versus the lower units. And that's why that you have that step effect. I want to say there's supposed to be a tree right there. But again, I'd have to take a look at the plans.
Who took this picture?
I took it this morning.
So was that at eye height?
Well, I'm what, 5'3"? Yep, standing there.
Yeah, imagine the person who's standing at 6'3" or 6 feet anyway. And I mean, it's clearly visible and there's a whole fence built to block the view and it's not blocking it. So it's just too low.
And part of what's gotten me sort of ticked off is that they went ahead and put these horrendously ugly units right there at the front of the building without approval. And then, when they try to cover up their violation, negligence, whatever you want to call it, it's not adequate.
There was every reason to put them in the back or up top or somewhere other than like such a high profile spot.
That's right.
That was discussed, I can tell you that.
And they can't claim innocence. I mean, NIR knows what the policy is.
And I can tell you that is just as much as you guys are saying that right now, HDC said the same thing. I believe Chairman Coombs and Chairman Oliver both mentioned that. So
Let's find them.
All right. So,
What other business item? Holly, could you put 5 South Water Street on our next agenda?
under other business?
Sure.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yes, so if you all are not aware of this, the HTC, it wasn't 100%, but it is now. The HTC is going to have a special meeting for 5 South Water Street on the 30th, which is a Friday at 10 o'clock. I believe it will probably be between 10 and 12:30, maybe. I really don't know how long it's going to be. I haven't heard the final approval for the Zoom, because of course that's a regulatory. So that will be specifically for this, and I would assume that you all would be interested in attending if you wanted to. Just let me know if we're going to have a quorum, because we would want to make sure that that was taken care of prior to.
Plan to attend that meeting.
I'm hoping to as well. I'm not sure.
Okay. It would be, would there be a chance that Brooke and Lucy, that you'd be there as well?
and when is this going to come up?
It will be on the 30th, October 30th.
And this is part of, is this a special meeting
Special meeting just for 5 South Water Street, yes.
for the HTC?
Yes,
Right.
for the HTC. Yep,
Okay, on Zoom.
October 30th.
on Zoom.
I'll try and you'll send us a Zoom connection.
Yes.
Thank
Yep.
you.
It'll be posted just like all HTC. Yep.
Yeah, I'll
Oh.
throw my name in there for sure.
Okay. So if you guys are going to do that, then I will make sure that I get with Kadeem that we post HSAB, because I think this kind of meeting is important for obviously your input for this type of thing.
So that's the safe way to go, right, Holly? So, I mean, if we don't have a quorum, it's null and void, but if we
Right.
do, we can move forward. Okay.
Correct. Yes. The safe thing is always whenever a group of you, you're going to be there for particular. Yes.
Does that mean that we have to open a meeting with an agenda and everything of our own?
If you have a quorum, yes. If we post it and you don't have a quorum, then no. So obviously we'll want to know ahead of time so we can let the chair of the HDC know, so he can let you all open your meeting up as well.
Okay.
But I do believe that that they really feel, I think just like you all do, how important this type of project is in our downtown area.
Now, can you notify Jason earlier on this because of her scheduling?
Oh yeah.
Thank you.
Yep. Yep. And then I heard from everybody about our camp training. So I'm glad. Thank you for your interest in that. It'll be great. And any of the days that you can attend, it will be recorded, so you can learn more afterwards.
Holly, have you already sent us an agenda? Of how that's going to go, like what we're going to be doing?
I literally just received a revised agenda today from NAPC, so I need to confirm that that's it. And when I do, I will send it out to everybody. Actually, there's going to be another email that I'll be sending out anyways for like a survey that they need from you all that are going to be attending. So that'll be with that.
Great.
Yay.
Okay, I go back to my motion for adjournment.
Second.
Mickey?
Aye.
All right, chair's in favor. Motion to, let's see, yes, let's adjourn. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you, Holly.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Thanks, Brett.
Thank you, guys.